Sattler Files.
Welcome to the Sattler Files, and also welcome to retired Inspector Neil Royle. G'day, Neil.
Good morning, Mr. Korff.
How are you today?
I'm well.
Good. Now, we talk about all sorts of things, but we're going to talk about speed cameras today because I know that's one of your favourite subjects.
When did I say that? I don't recall any of this. But no, it must be true, Murray, you said it. It must be true. But it is topical at the minute.
It certainly is topical because bear in mind that the weekend coming up is going to be a long weekend, and of course the problem that we've got on long weekends, people go around driving into trees and other cars and killing themselves.
Our track record is not that flash.
Not good at all, is it?
No, so the powers that be come on and say we're going to put another X number of speed cameras on the roads and that's going to solve that problem. So then George Tilbury, president of the WA Police Union, he comes out. George used to be a patrolman of mine when I was a traffic sergeant in Northam. So George knows what traffic coppers should be doing and what the rules are,
he does,
and what the high profile visible policing does, and comes out and says so, and says things that no one's ever thought about before, like speed cameras won't get drink drivers, speed cameras won't get people in stolen cars, drink drivers, speed cameras won't get drug affected drivers, etc. And all those things we know about, they get speeders.
Yeah, that's all they get.
Yep.
Yeah.
And depending where you put them, well, there's no speed cameras in the country.
There isn't, and that's the problem. That's where I think that we're going wrong. Surely.
They said there are none of that. There used to be. The major centres had them. The Kalgoolis and the Bunburys and the Geraldtons and the others had their own. Yeah. But the problem the police had was they couldn't keep speed camera operators.
Oh, really?
No. And I'll use Karratha as an example, perhaps. They had the speed camera introduced into Karratha, so they advertised for speed camera operators. They get 2 or 3 apply or 4 apply. From those, they interview them and they pick 2. And then they take in different shifts to start working the speed camera. But they live in the town. And they're all known to everybody, and they go to the bowling club and the golf club and so forth there, and guess what?
They get shunned.
They did it, and they did. It's like an emu, but it's an ostrich. So they get ostrich-sized by the locals in the town, and it's not worth trouble not doing it. And they could not keep and retain speed camera operators.
Well, I'll be blowed.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in the city, of course, but you have your anonymity in the city as well.
Yeah, of course.
You just go and sit there with your camouflage suit on, hiding in the trees, and
that's right.
No one even knows you're there.
Read your book.
And put your door sign up there so that people know you're not really sneaking around. You've got a sign saying, I'm a speed camera vehicle.
Yes.
But with all the problems that are in rural WA as far as fatalities go, and we know that the record for the last 2 separate holiday periods has been quite substantial and horrific, what they're saying is don't have your white van on the side of the road and your speed camera in between the trees and the bushes there. Actually have someone in blue clothes with shiny bits on them and these highly marked up police cars.
Yep.
Have them driving around looking for baddies.
Yeah.
And perhaps popping in town and pull up in Cunderdin, for example, on the main street of Cunderdin, and just sit there for about 10 minutes in your car.
Yeah.
And you could be doing your paperwork or whatever. Just sit there in the main street. Within that 15 minutes, everybody in Cunderdin is going to know there's a foreign copper parked in town.
Correct. And what's he going to be doing? He's going to be chasing speeding drivers.
Exactly. Yeah. And he won't be our local police officers that we know who already live here, who go to the golf club, who play bowls, and the kids go to school, and they do the PCYC, and they have the PNC and the rest of it. No, this is a foreigner. This is someone not to be trusted. This is the likes of Genghis Khan. This is a marauding horde of people from the city that have come up here, and their one aim is to pinch people and get things wrong.
That's right.
Now, for those who think, perhaps if this out-of-town copper gets us, we'll get a caution. Well, yes, you write your ticket and the caution will be, don't ever do it again. Yes. That will be the caution.
Yes.
So that's what needs to happen.
But the thing that amazed me yesterday was that is it the chairman or the CEO or something of the road safety? Commissioner for road safety. Commissioner for road safety came out and said that speed camera operators are lifesavers.
No, I know, I saw that. I thought, Kim Pavlia, what are you thinking saying that?
Just a moment. All they do is take the photograph. They don't slow him down. Nope. And he'll still drive into the tree because he hasn't worked out that he's been pinched yet.
That's right, not until a fortnight later, or 6 weeks later, he gets one in the mail.
That's right. So how does he draw that conclusion, do you think?
I don't know. And, of course, he has to toe the corporate line to a certain degree, as you would expect. George Tilbury can say what he likes. That's good, because he's independent.
The union, yep.
Into the union. And like someone said, it's a brave man who says what everybody's thinking. And all the cops are saying to him time and time again, to Tilbury, saying, hey, George, we're being shackled here. We can't do this, or this because we've got to do something else. We need to have... And George, as I said, being an ex-patrolman from the years gone by, knows what the ground rules are and what doesn't change. So for Kim Papali'i to come out and defend the issue, and he must do, I suppose, because of his corporate position, well, he can't go out and be directly contradictory to what government says is a good idea. Cause
that'll be a short career move.
It wouldn't be a good career move. But to say that speed camera operators are lifesavers, I thought, my God. And I expect in the next weeks or so to see these guys in their vehicles with those red and yellow caps on, so that they can fit in with the rest of the lifesavers. It's a bit of an insult to real lifesavers.
Well, I would have thought so too. So, I mean, it's predictable, isn't it? The way that these sort of things come up during the week preceding a long weekend.
Yep.
And will we see all the patrol cars and motorbikes pictured going out of the...
More than likely.
I mean, it's just so predictable now.
Yep, they'll do that. They haven't got any new ideas to go. They'll do the motorbikes and the cars bit, and the booze buses one behind each other, or the breath and drug buses as they are, one behind the other. Everyone's going, oh, wow, but where do they go? Did Subiaco turn around and go back to Midland? Where do they go? And even when it was full on as far as the road safety issue goes, and local government are not dumb. When I was in Fremantle, Melville City Council, for example, wanted to buy their own speed camera and had their own operators and stick it in there and do it for the city of Melville. Because they too are keenly aware that it does create the odd shilling into the coffers, and they can put it wherever they like, in the 50k zones and all the rest of it there, and get all those large density vehicles or high density vehicles who are all doing 56 kilometres an hour. They're not really killing anybody or anything else, but they're doing what's 2.5 miles an hour over the limit, so to speak. And that was seen to be in some areas as that's a good, positive road safety initiative by the City of Melville, because at the time I think the City of Melville was the only city council that was independently wealthy. They were self-sufficient. So they put it to the police. Everyone said, yes, it's wonderful, yes. But then who's going to process the tickets?
Certainly not the City of Melville, I wouldn't have thought.
And of course they said, well, we'll do the hard bits. We'll put the cameras out there. We'll send you the stuff to do in the back room. Police said no. No, not doing that. So if you want to do that and get a speed camera, you go the whole hog and do the rest of it as well. Then you have privacy issues about how to identify drivers, owner-onus issues, et cetera, et cetera. Got too hard, didn't happen. Didn't happen.
No.
And that's always been the bone of contention with speed cameras. There's that much volume out there, and they have awful problem keeping up with the back end, because there's so much of it there that for them to process, and putting more and more cameras out, of course, more and more you're going to get.
I mean, the location of them is also an issue, don't you think? I mean, the reality is that we do know that there are places that are more, let's put it this way, lucrative than others.
Yep.
And do speed camera operators have quotas? I mean, that's always a story, isn't it?
The criteria for sighting a speed camera is quite precise. You can't just stick it where you like. It has to be a fatal or serious traffic crash within 2 kilometres of that. Areas where constant speed, high speed is a factor. And this is the best one, the real savoury is an area of known complaint. Well, you can cover that with anything. So me as a traffic sergeant, I want to put it out in this street out here for whatever reason. No, it hasn't had a fatality here in the last 2 years or a serious crash. No, there's not evidence of constant high speed here. But because I want it here, I'm going to say, well, people have been complaining about the street all the time. I'll put a camera in.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to put them at the bottom of hills, even though it's been shown time and time again, people tend to speed more going up hills than down hills anyway, but they're not allowed to put them at the bottom of hills. They're not allowed to put them within X number of metres of the change in the speed zone. So if the zone goes from 80 k's to 100, You can't stick it on the 80k sign and get those guys coming out. You got to
that are getting ahead of themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to counter that, they'll put coppers there with handheld radars.
Okay.
And they will get them in the speed zones because they can't put a camera there. So, they've got their place, certainly. People are frightened of the fact and don't like the fact that you've got to give the government money. And people are like, I got a ticket in the mail. I don't remember this, but, it must be me. And they've got to give $200, whatever it is, and the points are some concern, but not a great amount, not a great deal. The money, giving over the money, they don't like that.
No, but it's an optional tax.
Well, it is. It's PAYE, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pay as you were. Is it not? So
it certainly is. It certainly is.
And what upsets people is electronic devices can't be talked out of it.
No, they can't.
You cannot appeal to the compassionate side of that little black thing.
No, you can't. No.
You can't put your case to them, and you can't wear a low plunging neckline and go up to the speed camera and say, "Hi there." None of that stuff.
What are you doing later?
Exactly.
Yes, but of course now that they're in vans, there's less revenge, isn't there, where people drive over speed cameras?
Still doing it.
Really?
In recent prosecution in the last week or last week and a half, someone 180,000 thereabouts because he went past it, came back and ran over it. So
I thought they were all in vans now. They've still got some they got to set up, do they?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know that they said, well, he's going to foot the bill for the camera. So how can you make someone afford 180,000 for a speed camera?
Take his house. The other one that I find really quite disturbing is that some of the operators themselves get assaulted, don't they? That's happened.
Yes. Oh, yeah, indeed.
And at the end of the day, they're not there. They're just doing a job. They shouldn't.
Exactly
be
right.
assaulted.
Exactly right. And they just go and set it up where they're told to set it up, and
they just do it.
They have this criteria they must address all the time. The way they set up the camera and they test the camera and so forth. And every 15 minutes they got to do tests on it again.
Oh, do they?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Every 15 minutes, and they log it in a book as well. They tested this and did that, and made sure that someone hadn't come along and put a bush in front of it, or they can't sit there and read the book or watch a video. Yeah. They have to look at the camera all the time.
Okay.
To make sure no one fiddles with it.
And when we all send our checks off or do BPay or whatever it is to as part of our PAYE problem, pay as you were, I think that's lovely.
You can use that whenever you like, Murray.
Thank you so much. Where does that money go?
That goes to the Road Trauma Trust account.
The whole lot?
Speed and red light camera fines do.
Okay.
So these ones, speed cameras per se, are not speed and red light cameras. I think what they're talking about, the Road Trauma Trust account, unless I get it wrong, speed and red light cameras are the ones on the intersections.
Okay, yep.
So because you are not only if you go through the red light, it takes your photograph. If you're speeding through a green one, it takes your photograph as well. So I think it's those ones. I don't think it is speed cameras across the board.
Okay.
For all of them, I may be wrong. It may have changed, but certainly it generates many, many millions of dollars per year. And the argument, of course, is, well, inject some of those millions back into putting guys on the road. And they, well, we haven't got any more cops to put on the road. Well,
get some.
Pay the ones who are not working on overtime to come in and work in their days off. And you have a queue a mile long.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
And you will, because it's easy. You just get a patrol car and drive out to Muck and Boodin and drive back again, apprehending along the way. And all the police department will require is that you make contact with the motoring public. Doesn't mean to say you will get out and pinch somebody or give someone a work order or give someone a caution. Make contact with them for whatever reason. So you stop them, talk to them, look at their driver's licence, give them a breath test, because you can't, in this state, you can't just stop a person for reasons of demanding their driver's licence, contrary to popular belief. You have to have a reason for stopping somebody. And the reason, the easiest one, of course, is random breath testing.
Yeah, because they're allowed to do that.
And by the way, show us your licence.
Yeah,
well, yeah. That's the way to go. And that's easy. RBTs is really easy. So if you're out there and no one's doing anything wrong, they're all wearing their seatbelts, they're all obeying the speed limit, and there's no bunky motor cars out there, just pick one and stop him and breath test him. Then talk to him. Then look at his car. Then all the rest of it. Then run him through the computer to see what sort of warrants are. All that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Making contact.
Yeah. Well, and a good thing it is too.
Absolutely.
And of course, the other thing that's come up during the week is somebody's thought that reducing speed limits in certain shopping precincts should come down to 30 knots, 30 kilometres an hour.
Over those shopping precincts in Venice.
Sorry.
Why be tight? You doing more than 30 knots, fella. So, yeah, and that's good. Make it 5, make it 3, make it 10. Who cares? Who's going to police it?
Yeah, that's right.
No one's going to police it.
That's right. Well, why don't we just go the whole hog and have somebody with a red flag walking in front of the car?
And the Roman candle.
That's the Roman candle, yes.
I suppose the counter that would be, the logical part would be, you put up a sign in the shopping precinct saying, for vehicles, walking pace only. And that seems logical to me, but it's not prosecutable. If you don't have a speed limit there, so if the sign says walking pace only and you see a guy, well, how fast do you walk? Do you walk fast? Do you walk slow? What's walking pace for me is not walking pace for you. So you haven't got that.
You've actually got to have a limit.
You've got to put a figure on it. You've got to put a figure. Say if it's 15, or Subiaco is 40 k's the whole suburb.
Yeah, and part of Beaufort Street is too.
Yeah, and the schools are all 40 k's as we know.
Yeah.
And we know that everyone abides by those. That's why they pinch so many going through schools.
School zones is a shocker, isn't it?
Yep, it is indeed.
Absolutely.
It is indeed. Police headquarters, for example, and Howard would know this because he's been in the driveway that goes into police headquarters off Adelaide Terrace to go to the front door of police headquarters is a driveway, and it's got a sign 10 kilometres per hour. Well, not even the cops do 10 kilometres per hour through there. The speedo needle width is about 5 kilometres wide, so I don't know how you get down to 10 kilometres an hour. I think the idea is they don't want you to take your car in there because you can walk at 11 kilometres an hour. Yeah. So you got your car there, you cause a traffic jam back into the St George's Terrace.
Yes, yeah.
10 kilometres an hour. So who thought that one up? So
it's hardly a practical solution, is it, that one?
No, not really. And yes, it's well-intentioned, and we know it's 50 k's in all built-up areas.
Yeah.
So even though, unless it's signposted differently, i.e. around here, if there's a sign saying 60 or 70, that's fine. If there's no sign saying anything in amongst all these houses, it will be 50.
Yeah.
And that's shooting fish in a barrel. Anywhere you want to go, you can just go along with your radar and pull up in any car.
Well, my word, you can.
Yeah, you can anywhere you like. You get a million.
Yeah.
So again, if they put a speed camera out in any street around here, because everyone's doing more than 50 in the 50 zone, you're going to get them, but you won't get the volume.
Yeah. And
you'll get criticism because, what are they doing here? There hasn't been a prang here in 20 years. They only have 6 cars an hour go through this street, but they're all going to be speeding. So,
yeah, that's right.
And the only bods who will come on board and say, good on you guys, you've done well, are the people who live in the street.
Of course they will.
Unless they get grabbed. Then it's different.
It's all different.
Then it's different.
But it just gets back to the same old story, doesn't it? It's an optional tax.
Yes, indeed.
It really is an optional one.
Yep. And people really are, and you've seen it yourself coming here today, and I see it coming here every day. If you're not off the mark, like you're driving a Maserati, if you just take off from the lights, for example, at normal type responsible drive, they're behind you flashing headlights and all sorts of things. You're supposed to go from point A to point B in the least amount of time.
That's right.
According to some of these schmucks that are out there.
Yes, afterburners on all cars, please.
Yep, absolutely. And the rule isn't the bigger the car is, the more influence you have on the roads. It just looks like that.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
yes,
just because you're following a little Morris Minor and you've got a V8 Commodore or something, you're at the speed of the Morris Minor, I'm afraid.
And the same if you were out there in amongst the Macs and the Kenworths.
Yes, of course. Yeah, they hardly get off the line all that quickly, do they?
When you're driving your car, it goes all dark because you've got no light coming in the back window. And look, and you see a chrome bulldog, and you think, it's not a Kenworth.
This could actually get messy.
Exactly.
If I'm not very, very careful.
I might get out of the way in case the driver in driving this large vehicle is not paying strict and close attention or is affected by any sort of substance that might impair his judgment to certain. I might just change lanes. Let him go.
That's right.
Let him turn at me. I'll change lanes.
If he's that keen, let him do it.
Let him go. Let him go.
So this weekend I'm sure there'll be great scrutiny on accidents and driver behaviour and that sort of thing on the road, because it's a weekend that people will get away and there'll be double demerit points on starting Friday, I would have thought. And
wouldn't it be nice if this coming weekend is remembered for what it's for, which is Anzac Day weekend, for remembrance of those people who served and lost their lives. Well, remembered for that rather than how many got killed on the roads.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Indeed. Yeah. But cars are safer now, but people drive it to the limit of their safety, don't they? That's part of the problem as well.
Yeah, and how many times do you hear people say, I feel more comfortable driving my Toyota Land Cruiser than I would do driving a Volkswagen because I've got this big hunk of metal around, and they feel safer because of that. And does that then change the way they drive the car? Well, yeah, probably it does. Probably it does.
Yeah, no. We're going to take a very swift break because
as there are
we've got to pay some bills.
Ugly people at the door bashing on the door.
That's right.
Trying to get you, not me.
And we'll be back more with Neil Royle very shortly.
This is the Sattler 5.
DevRite Homes, when you're looking for attention to detail and a uniquely designed home to suit all your needs. At DevRite Homes, we only build a limited number of homes per year, so we can truly focus on what you want out of a prestige home builder. We've continually won awards for excellence, with a record number of wins last year and the proud winner of the Australian Townhouse Villa of the Year. While we love building homes to suit each client, we pride ourselves on designing homes that take into account the special safety needs of some of our clients. If you have a dream, we can make it come true. Talk to Jay Mangano and find out more about DevRite Homes at www.devrite.com.au.
You need banking services of any type. Secure Force Protective Services run a cash and transit service here in Perth. From as little as $25, why risk your employees travelling to the bank when Secure Force can do it for you? Give us a call at 9440-5011.
You only ever want the best for your family, and no one understands this better than the caring ladies at Marina Perslow and Associates. That's why we offer Australia's leading prepaid funeral plan. It means your family won't be left with the added strain of organising your funeral, and everything will be taken care of, all the little details. Your family will have the support they need with a woman's touch and gentle understanding. So leave them with loving memories and leave the rest to us. Visit marinaperslowfunerals.com.au or phone 9388 1623.
I'm John Hughes. If you want a hassle-free, very enjoyable and happy experience when buying your next vehicle, come to me in Victoria Park. I personally train all my salespeople to be non-pushy, friendly and professional, and we always strive to provide first-class before and after-sales service to all of my customers. So choose your dealer before you choose your car. That's John Hughes in Victoria Park, your car buying destination. DL 6061.
This is the Sattler Files.
Welcome back to the Sattler Files, where we're with Neil Royle talking about all sorts of things. Neil, the 60 Minutes crew that are currently resting in Lebanon on a holiday.
Yep.
That's going to get really messy, I think, don't you? If things aren't tidied up fairly soon.
I wonder if when they advertised the 60 Minutes program in the Australian on the 18th of April, which they did, and the promo they gave to it, which I just had a look at a minute ago, which is quite interesting, and John Lyons from the Australian did the analysis on it, and it says the promo, tonight, the brave Aussie mum, the kids stuck on the other side of the world, and the mum's crazy brave journey into the most dangerous back blocks of Beirut, the most dramatic rescue you'll ever see. The one television event of the year you should not miss. Hasn't that gone kapow?
Yeah,
backwards?
that went well.
Indeed. And so now you've got a situation where this rescue is being deemed in the eyes of the Beirut legislation and lawmakers as being kidnapping.
I'm struggling with this one a little bit for a couple of reasons. One is, and we don't know all the details, but on the surface of it, let's preface this with, we only know what we know as printed in the newspapers and so on. But it just seems to me that a certain individual or organisation was paid to recover these children.
Yes.
And 60 Minutes sent a crew to cover the event, a bit like they might do in a police operation, for example. They might send a crew to cover an event.
Yep.
So I'm just struggling a little bit with why the crew themselves, forget about Channel 9 for a minute, but just the crew who are employees of Channel 9, doesn't matter whether Tara Brown's a celebrity or not, but they're the ones that are incarcerated for this. Now, from your perspective, do you think that's a fair thing to happen?
Well, it wouldn't happen here, put it that way.
No, I wouldn't have thought it would.
Would not possibly happen here. Obviously, the blurry footage you do see on all the news stories shows someone grabbing a kid Well, that person who ever grabbed the kid, that's the person who's got to answer the questions.
Yeah.
So whether Tara Brown and the rest are standing around filming it is neither here nor there.
Look, I wouldn't have thought so. And look, at the end of the day, there'll be a big inquiry about who paid for what and to whom. But the two local guys that were involved, the company that did the snatch, as it were, and the mother may well be a little group of people that could be involved. But I'm really not certain about the 60 Minutes people, even though they might have paid for it, but not those people.
Who's paid the snatchers?
Well, we see this is the thing. This is unclear. There is a he said, she said situation here, and so we can't really know. But even if Channel 9, as is currently the story, paid the body snatchers, paid the child recovery company directly, I accept that may be the case. But Tara Brown didn't. The sound recordist didn't. The vision guy did. Neither did the producer.
So the proviso would be for the recovery people, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars, but the proviso will be we want our crew to come along and film it.
That's right. We want to be there to record the event.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I wonder if, and I don't know anything about Lebanese law, but goodness me.
It's nothing like ours, I'm here to tell you. For example, when police go and do a search warrant on a premise, like on a property, what we do, you have the documentation, of course, the lawful piece of paper that says you
can do it.
Yep, you do this, and we generally film it.
Yeah, as you would.
Yeah, because what the baddies do, of course, when the cops come in with a search warrant, knock on the door, say, hi, it's a search warrant, and what the cops normally say is, do you have anything to declare? So they give them a chance to say, well, yeah, I've got a stolen Ferrari out the back. But normally what takes is the baddies then go outside. Yep. They leave. And then the police try and make them stay while the search takes place. Because if the police are in there searching on their own, what's the baddie going to say? Of course, they bought this stuff and planted it in here. Yeah. It's not mine. The cops bought it with them. Yeah. So the police film. Yep. They film. So if it comes to pass, and sometimes it has happened where something's wrong with the documentation and it's deemed to be an unlawful search, well, yeah, the police get in trouble. But the guy filming it doesn't.
No.
He didn't get locked up or anything else.
Because he was actually doing his job.
Exactly. So they've put a very long bow on this one here with the TV crew, and they're going to make an example out of them. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, look, I'm sure they will, because it's pretty high profile. Yep. I mean, the program itself is a worldwide program. I mean, it's franchised in almost every country. So they're going to make and the fact that she's female is probably going to be another thing that's going to count against her. And the whole thing really is not crystallised yet, because it's subject to law in Australia and obviously law in Lebanon. I mean, what a mess.
And they're still toing and froing with the mother of the children saying, well, look, I'll step back from this now, thanks. Keep those in the slammer, but I'll just sort of go, thanks. And he can have access to the children, and I'll just take the one I've left behind. I'll go back to that one there, and away we'll go. So she the old sidestep, boop, 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 ongoing,
right?
And Tara Brown and the others can cool their heels in there till the cows come home.
Yeah.
And there's no getting away. The bench has said, the judiciary has said there, this is kidnapping. It won't be reduced to anything else. This is kidnapping, and no, the charges will not be withdrawn or go away.
Well, the charges won't be withdrawn or go away, but if they can be shown that those individuals had nothing to do with it, I mean, once again, it's Lebanese law, so I'm not holding out a great deal of hope for them, but that would be the case here, wouldn't it?
Exactly, unless the courts are saying that those TV people are parties to the offence. And if they're parties to the offence, will they attract the same penalties then? Because, what's a good example here? Car surfing. I know it's sideways, but it's a traffic type thing. So the bloke drives his car and his mate gets on the bonnet and does a bit of car surfing, and he falls off and hurts himself. So the driver gets charged with dangerous driving, causing whatever it is. And so does the surfer. He gets charged with it as well.
Does he really?
As a party to the offence. Because if he wasn't on the bonnet, it wouldn't be an incident. It wouldn't be an issue.
No.
So if they want to draw that same, okay, that would happen in this state here for dangerous driving, because if the guy didn't get on the bonnet, there wouldn't be any dangerous driving.
No.
So, and the guy driving the car, if he'd said, well, get off my bonnet, I'm not going to drive, it wouldn't be a dangerous driving. But no. It is. So they're both, and they're both parties to the offence.
Yep, okay.
Unless they're saying that's the situation here. Things that we don't know about, like the payment of the rescuers, will they be saying that there'd be no rescuers here if Channel 9 hadn't paid them to come here? But what part did the mother play in this part? Did she go to Channel 9 and say, what about trying to get my kids back, or what happens? Who knows?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, this is the whole thing, and Channel 9 are being very cautious about this, as well they should.
Well, yeah.
Because they would like to get their people back, because, I mean, for them, at the end of the day, if they're in jail for 20 years, and the possibility exists that could happen, I'd suggest that they'll be forking out a fair bit of money to the families for putting their employees in danger.
Yeah, without doubt. And ask yourself the question, why then were the only person to appear on television outside the court yesterday was Tara Brown? Yeah. The other ones, the cameraman and the sound man, they're still in the slammer.
Yeah. Only she was brought out.
They brought her out. This is parading.
Of course it is.
This is parading for the trophy, and here you go. Check out this blonde Sheila.
Yeah. Now,
handcuffed behind her back. Must be a flight risk, perhaps. Spare me.
In Lebanon, a flight risk for a blonde female.
Yeah, no one would notice you. Just step into the crowd there.
Yeah, quite right.
What's wrong with them?
The other thing that I just want to touch on here is the fact that this is a high-profile media case, but the other media are getting into them, and social media, talk about eating your own. I mean, good Lord. I would have thought that there would have been just a bit more sympathy for these people, given that they're but for the grace of God.
Absolutely. For fate, there go I.
None of them are without blame here.
Nope.
They've all done it in the past, and I'm sure they'll all do it again. And it's just circumstance that got these people caught.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bottom line is, you certainly don't go around, crowing about all of that sort of thing and saying, what a stupid thing to do, because you've done it yourself.
Of course they have.
Yeah.
We're lucky we didn't get caught.
That's right. I mean, it's a bit like in an aviation sense. I like my aviation.
Yes.
We never ever laugh at people who land with the landing gear up. We never do that.
Nope.
Because that's a sure sign that you're next.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
It's just crazy, and it's disappointing to me as a member of the media, or former member of the media, that they do that. I mean, it's just not right. It really isn't. They should be supporting people and saying, things like, we have a right to follow these things. It is an interesting case, and the media should be involved in these sorts of, or reporting on these sorts of things. And instead of that, they just ridicule and they make examples of them and all of that sort of stuff.
And I suppose they would have done research before they went to Beirut, no doubt, about what you can and cannot do. I mean, they're coming into the country with a visa of some kind, where they go through customs and immigration and the rest of it as a professional television crew from a infidel country.
Yes.
They're going to attract attention in any case. You would think that the homework would have been more substantially done than that, to know what you can and cannot do and what you're likely to get pinged for if you step out of line.
Yeah.
And when you look at Julie Bishop and those, they're taking it very down the centre of the road line on this one.
They are, and I don't think they can afford to do anything else, to be honest. I mean, they can't be seen to be supporting an illegal activity, but until it goes through the Lebanese courts, I guess, once that happens and they've been found guilty or not, then they'll probably do some more work. They still need
to be keenly aware that Confucius did say that man who walk in the centre of a road hit by cars going both ways.
Quite right. Look, on that note, Neil, I think we might... No. Just before we go.
We're not talking about football.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. No, we're not. We haven't got time.
We haven't got
lucky us, haven't got time.
You jumped the shark there, my boy. Neil, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's been absolutely fabulous, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Me too.
More on the Sattler Files very shortly.
This is the Sattler Files.